everybody, this is Melanie from Meldoodles, and I'm doing the Taurus video. The Taurus video, unfortunately, I got only half of it recorded, and the other half I forgot to press record. So I wanted to get a video up anyway because I would hate to skip over one. So I think for the other half, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the layers and show you what steps I took to get to it, but they'll already be done. I think that it'll still be helpful because then you can kind of see the layer build and you can see how I went about, you know, making those layers. Because the drawing aspect, that's just practice and, you know, figuring out what light sources are and stuff like that. But this could be a really helpful video to show you my layering and stuff like that on Photoshop. Sorry, I'm not standing, I'm crouching. So I think that it could still be very informative and very helpful to break down. Okay, so this is the part where I fill in all of the shapes of the body with solid color. I make the property of the layer shape layers, and this enables me to change the colors a lot more quickly when I decide that I need to adjust color. And I won't get into that too much because I give myself a headache trying to explain it, and I think it's more something that you need to visually see broken down than to actually talk about. And so yeah, for the beginning of the video, it's just all me filling in color, and I use the pen tool on Photoshop. You can always, if you want, I think do pen tool on Illustrator and then bring it into Photoshop, or you could do everything on Illustrator because I do a lot of cell shading. Oh wait, sorry, I didn't mean to yawn. But anyway, so watch this portion and then I guess I'll go into explaining it further when we get further along. when I left off, I had gotten to about this point. There was a gray background. At this point, I put a white background because I wanted to see how brilliant the color was actually conveying, and so I popped in my white background. But next level was to start to suggest shadow and to start suggesting points of the skin that maybe had a warmer quality to it. So for instance, let's zoom in and let's show maybe those aspects that I had actually touched upon. So we see it here on the knee, on the toes, maybe on the elbow. I added some like warmth. Even on the cheeks I did that as well. I started adding little specific elements like highlighting this chain that goes between her boobs and or to be more sophisticated, her breasts. And I have a little highlight here, and that just shows that it is maybe a metal, and so that's, you know, that's just like a nice little accent that I added. This little highlight on the lip, though I think that could have been smoother, it just shows that maybe the lip is a little shiny. And also maybe these little eye circle things that show maybe a highlight. It just adds like an extra level of detail that kind of gives a little more to the image. And also right here you see I added a pattern. It's just a generic Native American pattern that I found, and I added some shadows, and I converted this layer specifically into a overlay layer. I made this circular shape, which is a continuous shape that I put within all of my Zodiacs, and it's just kind of the foundation that it lets them sit in the space nicely. So after I did that, I made this shape, which is supposed to suggest a pillow. Another one. Basically, I just duplicated the layer. That's why this is shape layer 48 copy 2. And then I duplicated it again. And as I duplicated, if I just changed the colors ever so gradually, keeping that brown earth tone look to them, but they are suggesting that she's sitting on a pile of pillows. And so what I did, there you go. And yep. Okay. Now, I felt like the pillows didn't look amazing. I think they looked really good, but I felt like they needed something kind of like a little accent to give them some special look. I don't know how to describe. But I added some kind of border to them by making one border and then repeating it. Like I made shape 49. I copied it about like 15, 16 times. And basically I did was I double clicked on this little icon, my picker, and I just changed the colors as I went, and I moved them around and placed them where they needed to be. And this didn't have to be so concerned with it looking maybe too naked. That's probably what it was, too naked. And then I changed some of them to a darker color because to show that they're in shadow. And yeah, I mean, it really, really worked. I think as an illustrator, as an artist who's, you're working on a time crunch, it's very important to understand the little shortcuts so that you can get from start to finish without breaking your back, because that's what ends up happening. Oh, and then on this circular pattern, that's her foundation sitting in, such as, so what I did was I started with a colored shape like this. It's pink. It's like, okay, that looks okay. I like the color, but then I felt like it was too close to the rest of the colors that were happening in the piece, so I felt like maybe she needed something that would contrast. And so I chose this greenish blue background that translated almost into a night sky. And what was nice about this was that it really made her pop. It really made her stick out. And so with that, the final end product, she has little twinkle stars on her, which I will open. Okay, so this is the end product. This is pretty much what the end where I'm at. I put some little twinkle stars. It shows that she's sitting in a night space or an evening space, and it's really beautiful. I think it works with the piece really well. I know that this is a lot of overwhelming stuff, especially if Photoshop is still kind of new to you, And believe me, it took me years for me to figure out Photoshop. When I got out of college, I only knew so much about Photoshop. It just took a lot of time and practice and not thinking too hard about it, just doing it. So until next time, guys, thank you. Also, if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, leave a comment down below and subscribe to see future videos. Alright guys, take care. Bye.